What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In this video, we are jumping into Daredevil issue number 1, with this comic picking up right where Starsky's had left off. Daredevil has been reborn. After his war between the Beast and the Hand, we saw Matt Murdock thrown into hell, into the realm of the Beast. And at the time, Matt Murdock believed he was doing the ultimate sacrifice, sacrificing his life to save everybody that he loved and cared about. But when he was reborn, he came back with no memories, not remembering the person he was before his events, not knowing anything about the man that he used to be, nothing about Daredevil, nothing about Elektra, Foggy, none of them. But even with his memory gone, the shadow of Daredevil is still there, lingering underneath the surface, waiting for the opportunity, waiting to be the devil of Hell's Kitchen. This story written by SALADIN AHMED. The artist is KUDER, and the color artist is Jesus Aberdov. Now, make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure that you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright guys, so as we dive into this issue, we are picking up in Midtown Manhattan. Right now, we have Matt Murdock in the back of a cab, with the traffic backed up as far as the eye can see. And Matt Murdock and his cabbie have a little bit of a conversation, because his cabbie is about to miss his evening prayer. But Murdock lets him know that if you need to pray, go ahead, pull over, and do what you have to do, telling him to take as long as he needs. Because if Matt Murdock has learned anything, it's that if God calls you, you damn well better answer. And so we jump over to Hell's Kitchen 1 hour later, with Matt Murdock showing up to St. Nicholas Youth Home, and he is greeted by Father Javi. As he makes his way inside, we see that there are a handful of youths that live here, young teenagers without anywhere else to go, with all of the kids wondering where Matt has been. He has been meeting up with a priest, because there are many people in this town that would like to close this youth home down. They have concerns because St. Nick's is outside both the city's foster system and the church hierarchy. They want to shut them down, but Matt Murdock is doing everything he can to ensure that does not happen, telling the kids to go ahead, go do your homework. Him and Father Javi, they sit down, they have a cup of tea, and they really talk about what's going on. At this point, Matt Murdock would have already lost this place, if it were not for the benefactor that has been really donating all this money to them, paying the bills anonymously for every single month. And Matt knows that whoever is doing this almost certainly has been bribing the church, as well as city officials, making sure that this place does not close. While Matt Murdock has no idea who this benefactor is, Father Javi says that whoever it might be, you have left one heck of an impression on them. But while they have this conversation, this is when they hear screaming from the outside. A woman named Ashley has been running away from this man, and now he stands outside screaming to come outside. When Matt Murdock confronts the man, he tells Matt that there's no problem, that he just wants to talk to his girl Ashley. Now Matt Murdock, he doesn't have any time for this guy, calling him a wannabe pimp, that he's not welcome here and he needs to leave. And the man tries to say that he's no pimp, that he loves Ashley and he wants her to come back. But Matt Murdock repeating what he just said, telling him that he needs to leave and this is his last chance. When the man goes to swing on Matt Murdock, he dodges the punch. He knows that these guys aren't fighters. This was over before it even began. He can hear their bones break, feel the splintering under his knuckles. He tells himself that he's doing God's work. He tells himself that he doesn't like it. But underneath it all, there is a face hiding in the memories that make him move. And he knows that this is not God. But with Matt taking these goons down and them going and running off, while the kids cheer, Matt Murdock knows that this is not the example he should be setting for these kids. While they think it's cool and fun and awesome, Ashley may be safe, but Matt Murdock still failed. He is teaching them all the wrong lessons, and God is watching. God and the devil. This is where we see on a rooftop nearby, Elektra standing and watching over. Elektra continuing to tell herself that he deserves this. The man that she loved, he went to hell and he died. He did it to save the people that he loves. She thought that he was lost forever, and maybe he is. Maybe the man that she once loved is gone forever, through some kind of supernatural act, something she won't pretend to understand in the slightest bit. Matt Murdock returned to home. He came back to this world, but not as the man that he once was. But even so, some things transcend lifetimes. Matt's decency, his protectiveness, his terrible head for business. And while Matt doesn't know it, she is the benefactor that has been keeping the home open, doing whatever she has to ensure that this home stays a home. And she has no problem doing this. The difficult part is keeping her distance. All of this time, she hasn't let him hear her voice or see his face. There appears to be some force out there, a force Matt would call God, that has given him a new life of peace. What kind of monster would she be if she took that away from him? And so all she can do is watch over him. But on this night, she sees that she is not the only one that is watching. This is when a mysterious figure appears. An old man with horns on his head. Before Elektra can even make a move, the man rises up his hand and we see that Elektra passes out. With her falling asleep, we pick up later in Matt Murdock's room, with Matt waking up because he senses something. He senses Satan's presence. Waking up and looking into the corner of the room, this is where he sees Elektra, with Matt Murdock asking if I know you. Elektra says that is why she is here, needing to see how completely succumbed he has become, to find out if Matt Murdock is hers yet. This is when Elektra attacks, and Matt Murdock says that he does know who she is. It takes a few seconds, but the name finally comes to him. This is Elektra. Matt Murdock going on to say, "What the heck are you?" This is where it is revealed that whatever that was on the rooftop, that old man with horns is now possessing Elektra. And as Elektra begins to attack, Matt Murdock praying to God, trying to figure out what the heck is happening. But it doesn't take long for Matt Murdock to be put to sleep, just like Elektra had been. With him falling asleep, he wakes up only to find that Javi is right there. Not really sure what's going on or what has been happening. He calls out to God. He is having memories that are filling his head that he doesn't believe are his. He has this anger that he shouldn't know. He believes that there is a devil buried inside of him, that he can feel it clawing, trying to get out. Another man's past is coming back to him, jagged bits and pieces, broken pieces. But he cannot stop himself from picking them up, and one thought continues to cross his mind. He must find Elektra. That's what takes us to 1 hour later. Matt Murdock with a cloth around his head. With every stride that he takes towards her, his senses remind him of who he was, of who he is. The smell of the rooftop air, the sound of traffic from 6 stories up. His mind may not remember where Elektra lives, but his body does, and it is screaming at him to go and help her. It doesn't take long for him to arrive, only to find that the same individual that has been possessing her still has her. Matt Murdock, he wastes no time charging in, going in to fight. And so the demon obliges, telling Matt Murdock that you can't beat me. You can't beat me because you don't want to. You want to rest, that you are tired. What you really want, what you deserve, is some peace and quiet. And Matt knows that he's not wrong, but he has let himself forget who he was because that was less work than remembering. He has been lazy. He has been slothful, but now that is coming to an end. That's when he pulls the cross from his pocket, and using this cross, he begins to say a prayer. With the prayer, we have the exorcism. This creature, this demon, is now removed from Elektra. The demon saying that I can't believe that you actually got off your butt and you did it. That Matty boy, he is definitely a tough one, but this demon is lazy. The others, they are gonna be a lot harder. With him saying that he's due for a nap, we see him burst into flame and then into ashes. As we pick up 2 hours later, at this point, Matt Murdock, he remembers exactly who he was. Having a conversation with Elektra. Elektra telling him that possession really isn't that big of a thing considering everything she has been through. But you just performed an exorcism, something that he's not really able to explain. But piece by piece, he is starting to get his memories back. He remembers Elektra more powerful than anything. He remembers them as a couple together. And Elektra is telling him, now that you're back to your old self, she is going to make arrangements to make sure St. Nick's stays open once he decides to leave. But Matt Murdock has no intention of leaving. He tells Elektra that he died. He went to hell to save the people who mattered most to him. That was supposed to be a sacrifice for all eternity. And just as he saved those he loves from hell, he believes that God saved him, that he did it for higher reasons than he could ever claim to comprehend. But he feels it with every single atom in his body, that God has set him on this new path, the divine purpose. To pretend like nothing happened would be betraying everything. Elektra obviously disappointed, not pretending like she understands in the slightest bit. But if this is what he wants, she won't stand in his way. But for Matt, want has nothing to do with this. As we pick up hours later, he has a Saturday morning that he feels is almost filled with miracles. The kids let him sleep in. None of them are arguing over lunch. In fact, the whole day, he believes was a collection of just little miracles. But that night, something deep inside of him, something that hasn't quite died, it leads him to a box. When the church brass scolded him for taking in troublemaking kids, he told them that God's forgiveness is infinite. And now he tells himself the same thing, and he is hoping, he is praying that God will forgive him for how good he feels wearing the devil's skin. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Definitely an interesting issue. Now, I didn't expect Matt Murdock to put on the Daredevil costume so quickly. I thought that they might actually give it an issue or two, but they're jumping right into it. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of the artwork. It's not necessarily bad, but in comparison to what we have been getting over the last 2 years, it's a little bit of a disappointment. It really seems like there is something else at play here. It doesn't seem like Daredevil was brought back to the land of the living by God. It seems that the demons might have something to do with this. The demons of hell playing their games. What is it they want with Matt Murdock? Are they trying to use him as a vessel, as their weapon in the land of the living? Is the goal to corrupt God's greatest warrior and to make him Hell's warhound? This issue leaving us with so many questions left up in the air. But one thing is definitely for certain. The devil of Hell's Kitchen has returned. So let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories. If you would like to get caught up on everything that is going on with Daredevil, go ahead, check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It will get you completely caught up on everything going on with this series. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership, much like Patreon, having multiple different tiers, from $1 to $50, from loyalty badges to comics every single month. Not only are you helping out the channel, but you are getting tons of perks in the process. If you're unable to do that, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.